Good morning, Vietnam. I'm back. I don't really want to make a video to tell the truth, but I'm going to make one anyway. It's 2 days from Election Day. Today is November the 3rd, 2024. And all kinds of weird stuff has been happening as usual to me, even though as usual it doesn't look like anything's happening. But things have gotten really bizarre. So I wanted to tell a little bit about what's been going on with me, and then I'll pull a few cards, okay? Last night I did tune into a broadcast by B on Miss Tick, as I call them. They were having an emergency Saturday night broadcast, during which invariably they will recommend that you not turn to a higher power. They did that as usual inside the broadcast. So don't look outside yourself. I mean, as if there's no other alternative, as if there's no choice to look inside and outside yourself. I always find a lot that I disagree with in their broadcasts, but I find a lot that I agree with too. Really, the only reason I watched that channel was because of the tarot card reader there, who I vibed with from the start when she joined up with them. And there was, in fact, a very synchronistic event that happened at the very beginning. After she drew the 10 of Cups, I went outside and saw that. And after that, it seemed I was just cut off from that group. I felt strongly that I should have been able to connect with her, but I can't. I've never been able to, and I think it's because my connection is closely, tightly watched, and I'm not allowed to have email from anyone in the outside here, and I can't get phone calls. My mail has been stolen for years now. I don't get any mail from the outside anywhere. And it's also obvious that there are people in the community here in law enforcement and the justice system who are protecting dirty cops and so forth, who have been stalking and harassing me over the years. And I couldn't get a restraining order against the person who had me in a trap house here for the 3 years before I moved here. Now I've been stuck here 4 years. And when I got here is when the terrible gang stalking on me started. 4 years ago. And it started after I reported suspicious things that I was seeing here at this complex where I ended up. It started up immediately on it, and it really never ceased until recently. Something has happened in town where I think these people they've finally been discovered, and they've been ordered to leave me alone because they were just getting so ham-handed about everything. They did way too much. And I'm almost sure that there's like mountains of evidence about what they did now, that they can't hide a lot of it, I don't think, because of what we know now about how the NSA collects evidence. And I think there are other entities that collect evidence that people don't even know about. Personally, I believe there's some sort of new quantum law enforcement thing in effect that is able to analyze everything. Everything. It's some kind of supercomputer network that can analyze every single everything that everybody does and has done probably since around 2014 or something, is my guess. Maybe before that, but something's been building up to make sure that every single thing that happens in this country and around the world probably too gets recorded and gets analyzed. Okay, so in the big picture, everything's known and has been for a long time now. And I'm just one little person, so that's probably why I haven't been helped yet. but I have provided a lot of helpful information, I think, that has gone into this, into the soup, or into the stew, okay? I put a lot of meat in the stew. Excuse me, because I don't really want to make this video, so I might have to pause a few times. Okay, so after I moved in here, it began to dawn on me gradually that this whole town is a trafficking hub. The entire town is. And if you look at its location on a map, you'll see that it's not near a major highway, really. There is a highway that runs through town, but it's not a major highway. It's adjacent to one. You have to travel for miles and miles to get connected to a major highway, which would be I-25, you know. That's the main highway that can get you in and out of New Mexico, and I-40 down here in the south can get you over to Texas or over to Arizona. Both of those highways, access to them is far away from this town where I am. So it's kind of a backwater town, but it's right near an Air Force base, which I believe is, I think there's something wrong with that place because the tone of everything that goes on there has really changed radically in about the last year. It's making me guess that possibly that base got decommissioned or repurposed or something. And the reason I say that is because last year there was an air show there and it was very hard to get in. It was very expensive. I always wanted to go to an air show, but I couldn't go because it was just too expensive. They made it really expensive to get in there and see it. And I couldn't. And then this last year they had an air show again, and it was easy to get in. It was free. And it was like a circus, food trucks and whatever. Come on, everybody, come on down to the, you know. It was like there was no military security there anymore and it had been turned into a carnival or something. I don't know. I just noticed a real difference in the tone of things going on that are supposedly sponsored by them. Again, you're talking to Pearl Snap. So we get a lot of things on instinct and psychically. And by the way, I did want to use part of this message to deliver. Part of this message is going to be delivered telepathically. If you didn't get that, you're not fit to be part of this team. Oh my God, all right, yeah, I'm just making fun of these remote viewing channels and their weird outfits they wear and the stuff they do lately. I was at the mall here yesterday and there was a Halloween costume store in there, one of those temporary stores that get set up, you know, in malls. And this place was the size of a football field. They had every kind of costume you could ever imagine in there. And it was all 50% off yesterday. And so all I could afford was this, but I grabbed it. Because who let the cats out? Where? All right, so where was I? I don't know. I have so many things to tell you. I was watching Beyond Miss Tick, and they were talking about how they've all been having nightmares about being mauled by demons, and I just wanted to put my report in about 2 weeks ago. I had a real scary dream. I don't have dreams like that. I don't have nightmares, really, or anyway, I haven't for years and years, but I had a nightmare, and I woke up and panicking, and it was about some kind of big, giant, reptile-like thing that was chasing me, and it had gotten into my home, and I could feel its mouth against my back, and its teeth were trying to bite my back, and I could feel the teeth, but it wasn't biting down on me. It was weird. It was like it was just, you know how your dog, when you're playing with your dog, it won't bite you, but you might feel its teeth a little bit, but it won't bite you. It was kind of like that. Like it wasn't biting me, but it was getting the flesh of my back in its mouth. That's when I woke up. I was like, oh my God. And I had seen it too, just a second before the biting thing. I got a view of it from the top down somehow, and it looked like a large lizard type thing. Its skin was kind of grayish green, and I couldn't see its face, but it almost looked like half dinosaur, half crocodile or something from the top. Oh God, it was really scary. It was really scary. So that happened to me too. And also I was experiencing a lot of psychic attacks just a couple of weeks ago. And it got me back into a period of just sinking down into despair and eating the wrong foods and feeling like shit and sitting on my couch all day, and I was unable to even go for a walk. So I dragged myself up out of that again, realizing I was being attacked psychically again. And also another thing that happens to me when they attack me, I keep hearing these readings about people attacking your root chakra, and they do that to me. I get illnesses down there that I don't want to be too graphic about, but I got another attack, and it's very painful, very painful. But this time I got back up and back well again, boom, within days. This is the fastest I've recovered from one of those attacks. And I'm like in response to that broadcast they did last night, Be On Miss Tick, I did my big nope. I said, nope, you are not doing that to me anymore. No. So I've expressly forbidden these attacks against me, period. I'm just not allowing it. Since then, I was solicited for a job interview. I'm not looking for a job. Okay? A big company supposedly was offering me a job as a copywriter. Now, I'm not a copywriter. I'm a writer. I can write. I'm a very competent writer. In fact, I'm a good writer. But I've never had a formal job as a copywriter, really, except for the last job I had working for an art gallery near Aspen, Colorado. I wrote all the copy for everything that came out of the gallery. So I guess at one time I did have a job being paid to write copy. Anyway, suddenly I get this email from someone at the company American Eagle Outfitters, which is now just called American Eagle. And the return address on the email didn't connect back to that company, or it was just, anyway, they were fishing because the hourly wage offered was astronomical to me. It was over $100 an hour they were offering, okay? And to me, that was like, what? You know, because I've never been able to I can't make any money here. I'm not allowed to make money, okay? I can't explain it, but every time I try to get a job or make money in any way, even if on my own, and even through my YouTube channel, which has been shadow banned the whole time I've had it, I've never been able to make money with it. I've only ever gotten one donation to my channel, and it was from Philosophical Tarot. Thank you, Philly. You're the only person that's ever been able to get a donation through to me, and it was a generous one, too. But ever since then, there's never been another donation that's gotten through to me, and I think that my bank has something to do with that. I really do. there's so much that I have to tell, and I just can't even keep it straight anymore. I haven't been reporting any of it. And that's because whatever happens to me, it happens via phone calls, texts, emails, and it all happens online. And so because of my belief that there's a big quantum something out there collecting information, I believe it's already all submitted into evidence. So I've stopped worrying so much about trying to write it down and get receipts and stuff, because I have the receipts. They're already in. Okay, the evidence is already in, people. It's already in. So anyway, I said yes to this job offer from American Eagle, seeking a creative copywriter. They wanted to give me an interview via Skype. All right, so I got on Skype and I got myself all set up and got ready to be interviewed via Skype. And I wasn't hearing back from American Eagle. A couple days went by and crickets, okay? So I began to look more carefully at the email. I'm like, suddenly I began to suspect that maybe somebody was trying to hack my connection. Maybe they're trying to snoop on me via Skype. Maybe this is fake. I started digging in and discovered that my return email to them had been routed to someone that I didn't know that doesn't work for them. Okay, it's some guy, like a freelance copywriter guy in Santa Fe, right here in my state. My email had been routed to him somehow. I thought, is he recruiting for them, or what's going on here? So I called and emailed him and I said, look, I see that my email went back to you. Who are you? And are you their recruiter? And what's going on here? And I texted him all these questions. He got a Pearl snap attack. Bah, 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 bah. And he didn't know how to handle it and eventually revealed himself. And I was like, okay, all right, I see what's going on here. Because I went to his website, all right? I went to his website and I discovered that he writes copy for the Democratic Party of Santa Fe. And I suspected them of spying on me and stuff already. Because I'm their prisoner. This just bolsters my theory that I'm really more of a political prisoner here than anything else. And I think I am, and I think people don't believe that. People have not been willing to believe that about me. Because most people out there are in denial that anyone in the country could possibly be a political prisoner. But I am. There are a lot of people in the country that are political prisoners right now. And they're tied down in circumstances they can't get out of, having their mail stolen and stuff. A lot of us because we're psychic. A lot of us because we are star seeds. We're people who have an alien genome somehow. Somehow they created us. And I think these people were experimenting and their experiments got out of hand. I've talked about this in other videos. If you're a starseed and you have access to DNA that codes that enable you to be psychic and telepathic, and this is what makes a unicorn, supposedly, all that stuff, right? Or it makes you a kitty cat who has abilities to sneak around in the jungle and catch prey. And they don't like us. They don't like their creations. That's why they hate the psychic, the spiritualist section of YouTube, and they hate psychics, and they hate tarot card readers and all that. All those things that I am. And they try to groom and condition you to work for them and to provide them with your services for nothing, and you don't even know you're doing it. That was my life for years and years, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it. people made a lot of money harvesting my energy and trafficking my energy and trafficking me. And they had plans to traffic me too. And I do believe that this low-income complex where I ended up did have hidden cameras all over it when I moved in. I think it did. All right. So I told the guy from the Democrat Party of Santa Fe to buzz off. I said my nope. Buzz off. And during the texting exchange, he eventually, the only response he gave was, I don't think I'm going to do that interview after all. Sounds pretty sketchy. Good luck. And he signed off. So I think they've given up on that attempt. I think they were all going to try to watch me in a Skype interview because they're trying to figure me out. I think so. They might have even had another plan that was deeper to do something to me via this job, or I don't know. I've had fake contracts with lots of companies. Lots in the past. And I didn't understand what was happening. This was yet another one, but I don't think it was a real offer. I think they just wanted to get me on Skype and find out some stuff about me. And I'm sure that there would have been not just one person, but many people watching my interview. Many that I could not see and was not aware of. I think so. And probably most of them in Santa Fe. Another thing that I've noticed is that I'm well aware that many of our political leaders of the left are, and the right are now replaced with lookalikes. And I am not convinced that the current person I think the person who's the governor of this state right now is being played by a lookalike. I don't think that's the real person. I really don't. And I think that person disappeared maybe as much as a couple years ago. She was called to a military base, and I think that's when she disappeared. Okay. And now they have someone else in there who's just playing the part until the elections are over. That's that person who eats too much Wagyu beef. Okay. I've been openly critical of her on my community page. And her administration, too. She appointed a crony to be the head of the Child Protection Agency here in this state. And this crony has done nothing but get really fat on the taxpayer nickel and not do a damn thing. She's really under fire for not doing a damn thing, okay? Since she was appointed. She's not elected. She's appointed. This makes me sick because everyone in this state knows that this child protection services here are broken and have been for a long time now. And I think it's because this whole state is it's about traffic. Okay, the whole state is. And likewise is the state directly above us, where I came from, where I was seeing signs that that whole state is dedicated to doing administration for what the operations going on down here. Okay. I think both states were taken over by, this is bad ET territory, all right? The whole southwestern United States. And large areas of Mexico too, I think. Yep. And I have talked about this in many of my other videos. All right, okay. Okay, so I told you I'd throw down a few cards and I might pick a few out of my homemade index card basket. Let's do that. I've even gotten the raffle drum cranked up again. I made all new cards for it. I have 1,200 new raffle drum cards in the drum, but they're just, you know, I was trying to be really clean about it, and I bought these little white business size index cards this time that are fairly stiff, because my handmade index card collection was just made on these flimsy paper index cards they make these days that aren't even cardstock. They're just kind of heavy paper, and they were getting all torn up in the raffle drum. So I took them out of there and I put them in the basket. And but I still wanted to use the raffle drum. So I made a whole new set, but it's just not as spicy as all the other cards I've made. And it sort of gives these bland readings now. So I didn't follow my truth when I made these new cards. I didn't. And so I'm getting these bland readings out of the raffle drum that I'm not vibing with myself even. And it's because I don't have any spicy cards in there. Now I have one bundle of blank cards that I still haven't written on. Actually, there aren't 1,200 cards in there. There's probably about 1,100 or 1,000 in there. I have another 200 that I haven't written anything on yet. So I'm trying to think of spicy stuff to write on those, and stuff that's happened since I made all the other cards. And so this would be all kinds of stuff about SpaceX and Elon Tusk and you know, the second moon and all that weird stuff that's been going on. I don't have any cards about any of that yet. So my card draws are, my handmade card draws are getting a little bit outdated, but they're still okay. You know, I can still use them because the same stuff's still going on. So, all right, I'm sitting here shuffling. That's what I'm doing down here. Okay. Let's just... Okay, it's still November 3rd, Sunday, November the 3rd, 2024. We're gonna throw down a few cards about it. I'm gonna throw down some cards about Alamogordo and what the hell is really going on here, because ever since I went on jury duty, and I told you about that in a recent video, when I had a face-to-face interview with someone from the local sheriff's office, that was like an off-the-record interview about my issue being gang-stalked by the previous chief of police, who was gang-stalking me in a local grocery store for a long time. And this was very hard on me, because every time it happened, it scared the crap out of me, but I had to gray rock it. Every single time I had to gray rock it, okay? And it got to the point where it was like a showdown between the two of us. It was really weird. And one day, even, I got so sick and tired of this bullshit with these people that one day I decided I was going to show him that I wasn't afraid of him, and I fucking practically charged him in the grocery store. I saw him there trying to scare me again, and he was probably 150 feet away from me, and I decided I'm going to walk right towards this bully, coward, bully, faker asshole, and I did. I put my head down, and I was looking right at him, and I walked towards him as fast as I could, like right towards him. And he walked towards me, and he was trying to act like he wasn't concerned, because he was still trying to play like, you don't know who I am, and I'm not here to chase you, and I'm just here by a random customer in the store, and you know, you can't prove that I'm stalking you and shit. And guess what happened? I charged right at him, and he started walking towards me too. Okay, because I think he didn't know what else to do. I think I scared the hell out of him, because when I passed him, because I didn't go right up to him, I didn't confront him, I walked right past him because I was faking him out. As we crossed paths, you know, guess what? His face cracked. He couldn't control his facial muscles, and one side of his mouth spastically spasmed, okay, and went way up. He had a no feeling face. Look, here's the emotions that he was feeling. Look at that. One side of his mouth spastically raised up real high. And so it was gave him kind of a grimacing, weird-looking smile for a second. Just for a nanosecond, too. But when I saw that, I knew. I thought, I won that one. That's when I transferred my burdens onto him. Okay, so that's a double 10. All right, that's 2 10s. That I transferred my burdens off of him. This is when, see, I used my emotional intelligence there. Okay, the universe was smiling on me. That was, I think, the beginning of the end of my encounters with him that day. It happened a few more times that he appeared in stores where I was shopping. But in one of those encounters, I got a picture of him finally. Okay. And he was in there with his crew. He always had backup. Another 10. What did I just say? You know, this all came to an end. He hasn't stalked me for quite a while now, ever since I made that report right into that deputy's body cam about, you know, at one point I said point blank, why use his name in this video? And I'm sick and tired of that person. Okay. These people have been trying to stop me from ascending, but it's too late. It's too late. I was too psychic for them, all right? Let's draw an oracle card. This is my little iPad stand, but I use it to put oracle cards on sometimes too, so. Let's pull some oracle cards this morning. In addition to, okay, let's do an angel number. We're gonna do an angel number. We're gonna do some of my homemade index cards. So I got a huge basket of those. And we'll do a couple of oracle cards. Let's do, okay, yeah, because we're talking about toxic ETs, and I think they run this region, and they run Colorado, okay? They're running all the politicians and all the crappy stuff and all the false flaggy stuff that's been going on in Boulder, that horrible fake town I came from, where I was basically a prisoner there for 20-some years and didn't even know it, okay? All right, we'll get into this. We'll get into the Mystic Martian Oracle here. Let's get into this. This is going to be a long reading, okay? Because I haven't done one for a while, so it's going to be long. So get your coffee or whatever. I may lose a few people along the way here, whatever, but... And my channel's still shadow banned. Although I got a few new subscribers recently, and I did that by going and giving some free tarot draws on the gulp. I've been a gulper for more than 20 years now. Probably, I think I found it yeah, about 21 years ago. I think I found the gulp in around 2003. So I have left many, 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 many comments there as an AC, many. So I made many contributions. I'm all over the archives there, all right? I know what the gulp is. I know what it is. I know who runs it. I know what it is. And so do a lot of you. A lot of the Beyond Mystic characters are very familiar with it. Okay, What can you tell us about the ETs, please, that are running this region? Oh my God, what a mess. But look what's on top. Alpha Draconians and Men in Black. Check it out. This is what's oh. I don't even think I need to go into it. Okay, look, this is who runs this region. This is who runs the Gulp. This is... And look at this. This is who they hate. People with open third eye. What did I just say? They hate psychics. Thank God I don't look like that. Ooh, that's so creepy looking. Look at that. But I do have blue eyes. That is so creepy. What does this say? Visions, manifesting, meditation. Okay. So yeah, I think that they have had me as a prisoner in their territory because this is what they use us for. They try to train you and use you. If you have these abilities, if you are kind of unicorny, they want to use your abilities to, I'm not going to even put that on my stand, but what else is here? Ouroboros, infinity, eternal past life. This looks a little bit like it might be a Wheel of Fortune type of a card. But again, it's these repeating cycles they have us in where they've gotten us trapped in a 3D matrix, and they keep sending us into the so-called ocean of samsara, or rebirth into another 3D existence, another cycle of that over and over and over, because this is a farm and they're milking you for your energy. And if you have this special DNA that they do experiments on us, okay, we also have the Veshya Pisces here, the divine feminine, birthing and femininity. And you notice this shape here. Let's notice this shape. You see that? It's the same shape, the same thing. This is very much related to the female vulva and the ability to give birth. All right, what does this say on it? It says divine feminine, birthing and fertility. Now these Alpha Draconians, they really want to get control over humans, over human reproduction, over everything about us, including our DNA. They're trying to create a race that they could control. That would be a perfect slave race. And their efforts include mind control, too. That's what MK Ultra was. They did. These people did MK Ultra. These are the people who did MK Ultra. In case you didn't know. I just noticed this about the backs of these cards. It looks like a black hole. Look at that. See that? I just noticed that about these cards. It looks like a vortex or a black hole or even an eye of some kind. Ooh, that's creepy too. All right, enough of that. I think we got some very good information there. Oh my God. All right, that was just confirmation about what I was talking about. That's all it was. It was confirmation that I'm in their territory. I sure as shit am. Let's do an angel number or two. All right, let's do some angel numbers here. Let's do it. You can see my little angel wings I have on my angel number basket. Let's do it. I just saw 8 and 32. My eyes touched on them, so now I have to read 8 and 32. I'm not even going to pull them out of there. What's 8? A cycle or pattern is being repeated now, so that you understand the lesson. Take time to reflect. What did I just say? You know, we're in these cycles. And yeah, we're in a repeating cycle of, an election. Let's just hope that the whole thing that happened last time don't happen again. I don't need that to go through that again to get the lesson. I think we've all got that. Okay, what else did I say? 32. I think I said 32. So I'm going to say to the collective, notice anything that's repeating right now. And think about, why is this happening again, okay? Are you having repeating dreams or nightmares? This person looks to be asleep. Maybe it's dreams or nightmares that are recurring. Oh boy. Okay, 32. Your relationships with yourself and others are being supported by your angels and guides. Call on them for as much help as you need and know it's never too much. Okay, that's great. That is reaching outside yourself. And these people on Be On Mystic channel, they contradict themselves constantly, because they will talk about how you shouldn't go outside yourself to a higher power and look for the answers there. But then in the next breath, they're talking about animal spirit guides or whatever. So come on now, okay? It kind of ticks me off. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna reach into the basket. Let's get some. Let's do some pulls out of here. What can you tell us about these people that are yesterday? Okay, right away, I heard Paul McCartney's voice singing. Yesterday, all my troubles seemed so far away. Now it seems as though they're here to stay. Okay, that sounds like a repeating cycle, confirmation. Oh, I believe in yesterday. That's the next line in that song. So suddenly there's a shadow hanging over me. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay, what else? Oh, man. Attempted red drum. Well, that was in the past for me. There have been many attempts on me in the past. Okay. Too many people would have been hurt. Oh. Maybe that's why things have quieted down. I don't know about you, but things have really quieted down around here because, as I said, I think these people did too much stuff and they left a trail of evidence. I think they had to stop because they were all just about to get hurt by their own fuckery. Excuse my language. Oh my God, what was I just talking about? The proximity of this town to one of these. So maybe it's good military that's slowing all this stuff down here in this region. Maybe it is. I certainly hope so. I don't know. I certainly hope so. I do believe that this place that's near here might have been being used for some of the traffic operations. What else? This basket, I see my hairs are in here. My hair is still falling out in chunks. All right, what else, please, Spirit? Yeah, they were doing operations out there, making lots of money. Lots and lots of money was being made. Oh my God, what else, please? Cold cuts. I'm getting from this that some cuts had to be made to people within the organization that were really cold. We got to cut you loose because you've been doing too much, Denton, or whoever it was, you know. Here we have spiritual impeccability. This is who they're trying to do it to. Okay? This says honesty, integrity, peace of mind, harmony, balance, service to others, not just thinking of yourself, all right? So a lot of these people that got cut off, that were cut away, were these people that were operating out of these places to make this money. They had no integrity, right? This all happened, though, in the past. So it has been stopped for now. What else, please? But still, I know this is the feeling I have. Things are not as they seem. I think that things haven't changed because the election still hasn't happened. So So they're just pretending like nothing's going on. I notice very subtle things in my environment that indicate to me that I'm still watched, tracked, and followed, and very carefully, including that fake job interview they just tried to do on me, okay? They're trying all kinds of sneaky shit. You're a real piece of work, OGU. Yeah, that's me. They can't figure me out. They can't get me down. They can't get me. They can't kill me. I keep figuring them out. I'm a real piece of work to them. They're still trying to figure me out. All right, what else? You too, collective. If you're vibing with this, stay sane. What does this say? They're unkind to make you lose your mind. Okay, so you've really got to ground yourself, and what I had to do was withdraw my energy from everyone. I mean everyone. Yeah, because I'm all grown up now. I got to where I am, ascended to a point where they can't use me anymore. They can't exploit me. They can't exploit my energy. They can't use me for a good luck charm or anything, I got there all by myself. They lost control over me. They lost control over my energy. And I wonder, if there's a possibility that job interview was going to pan out, and that company might have wanted to use me because possibly it's a failing company. That was the idea I got about it when I read up about the company. They've already been sued several times by another company for copying their designs. I noticed looking at their offerings that now that I'm a Temu shopper, I understand where all this stuff comes from. Okay, you can buy anything you could buy on their website, on the American Eagle website, anything you could buy there. You can also purchase at Temu for about 1/3 of the price. Okay. And there's, for example, they're selling these sweaters, right? And they call them the super soft sweater. But when you look at the sweater, you can tell it's the same. You look at the content, it's the same stuff they're selling on Temu. It's all recycled polyester, all right? All the garments are made out of recycled plastic now. And they're all oversized, which means they don't want to have to worry about fit. They just want you to buy their big, bulky, baggy, oversized, cheap sweater that you could have bought yourself on Temu for $12. They want you to believe that it's a $50 value. They have that crossed out sale. They want you to pay $35 for this same crap. And then you go to the review. The sweater had got a 1-star review. And you read that it's a cheap piece of shit that peeled up and looked like shit after one time through the washing machine. Okay, so perhaps that company is in trouble and they need a unicorn on board to help them get back on their feet, okay? Hello, don't shoot. Another star race is here. Somebody's been double dipping. It's probably these people that are the bad aliens. They double dip at everything they can think of. Don't shoot us. You know we're here now. You know what we've been doing. Oh, please be nice to us. Please forgive us. Oh, please say a prayer for us. Oh, won't you come and work for our company and protect us? And we're having bad karma. Yeah, okay. No, I won't. Because you know why? Because I can make choices now because I'm okay. They have me in poverty here, but I can still control my environment. Spring. Realtor. Safe area. Oh my God. I hope this is for you, collective. I hope that by this spring you'll be looking at homes in a safe area for you with a realtor, okay? With some kind of good realtor. What does this say? Upstairs. Yeah, I'm getting from this that there is a good realtor from up there, if you know what I'm saying, who's going to be sent in to help you. By this spring, you're going to be relocating to a safe area. All right, that's a prediction. That's what I hope for myself, and that's one of the things that I have written down in my things that I'm trying to manifest, is being able to move out away from this horrible city where I am to a safe area where I can connect with more people like myself. Because I've been very lonely and unhappy here. I was exiled. Look at that. Look at that. And maybe you were too, collective. If you're vibing with this, you may also have been exiled. And like me, you may have been cleansing and purging yourself spiritually so that you could get free of these monsters that have been controlling us for such a long time, okay? What else is here? Oh yeah, their magic spells are failing 100%. I told you, I've been able to bounce back from this latest attacks faster than ever before, because now I know what it is when I get the attack on me. Cashier, third party, chump. Well, one of the things I've noticed about these reptilian hybrid people that are trying to harvest energy is that they love to get these kind of jobs. And this has stopped for the most part, but in the past they used their positions, these kind of positions, no matter where they were, it was some kind of desk that they could keep you waiting. Okay, and that was a common way of harvesting energy, okay? Like, let's say you're at the post office window. A lot of the people at the post office are these people, and they would keep you waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I noticed that while I was waiting, a line would form behind me all of a sudden. That was what I called a swarm, and those were other energy vampires come in to feed on my energy of frustration while I was waiting. They were all worked together, okay? Because I was a chump, or they thought I was, okay? They did triangulate. What did I just say? The person at the post office could notify other vampires in the area that they had me in there, right? And that they were working together to keep you waiting and harvest energy off of you. That was a common way they did that. That has stopped for the most part. Or if I walk into a place where it looks like they're trying to do that, I'll walk right back out and come back later. Fly. This is a monitoring spirit, or a lot of you think it is, and it might very well be. It might very well be. So someone is suffering, having monitoring spirits on them still. Look, the sweetness of the organic now moment. What else is here? Bad people in the government. What did I just say? Strategic financial disadvantage. This is what they've had me in. They have worked very hard to get me in lack by blocking everything, every opportunity to me. Every opportunity I have to make money is blocked and controlled by them. And examining my own past, I realized that this had been going on for me for a long time, for decades, literally. Well, they got me stuck in jobs where they had monitoring spirits constantly all over me, like these things on poo, you know, and they were always trying to harvest energy off me. Different companies got the benefit of my energy, different entities. What else? Purposelessness. Yeah, they wanted me in purposelessness so that they could harvest off all that energy for their own usage. And it hasn't been until I came here that my purposelessness was turned into purposefulness. And I got into my purpose. I got into my north node, so to speak, and I started really shoveling that evidence into the stew it's already turned in, okay? Somebody didn't make the cut. This came out this way, so I'm going to say that I did too make the cut. They didn't think I was going to, but I did. Ha ha! All right. Somebody's a maniac. It's that Denton asshole that was stalking me. I think yeah, they forgot about us. The people who had the power to change things. That's what we came here for. Yeah, this is what they were doing. These people thought they were such a big swinging gang stalker. I'm gonna scare the crap out of you. Well, you did, fucker. But you were also violating all my rights. What kind of policeman are you? This person was the chief of police at one point. It really pisses me off. This is who they're doing it to. An innocent rambler. I'm a wanderer. I'm an innocent. I never hurt anybody. And I didn't. And the record will show that. They sent people out here to snoop on me and investigate me many times, and I think many of the investigators they sent were bribed and paid to look the other way and to say they didn't know what happened to me or to lie about me. You're a snapper. I'm a snapper. You can't do that to a snapper. You can't do that to a snapper. I'm still here. I'm still trapped in this horrible, horrible town with these horrible people in charge that still can't figure out what to do with me. I am still trapped here. I'm trapped in here. I need help. I need to get the hell out of here. I need witness protection. Now I have people in Santa Fe connected to the Democrat Party of Santa Fe trying to do fake Skype job interviews with me. After all these, where's that card? All these attempted red drum on me. There's been many attempts. I think I lost count of them. It scared me so bad. Some of my earlier videos show me crying about the gang stalking. Go back to my earlier videos. I can't find it, but I did pull that attempted red drum card. I need and deserve help. I'm not sure if and when I'm ever going to get it. And look at me. I've been asking for help for 7 years now. I've been trapped in here. In that time, I've gotten old. I'm right up on my 67th birthday now. That's why I call myself P-Snap 1111. I'm an 1111er. Okay? I'm about to turn 67. I don't want to die here alone. I got separated from my whole family, everyone I ever knew. Even though I had to learn how to gray rock them, it didn't mean that I don't hurt. I've been hurt so badly here by a whole town full of really cruel people taking turns spying on me, stalking me, making fun of me. You can see that I worked on myself. I lost a lot of weight from when I first came here. And part of that was because of the body shaming, stalking they did to me. They did stuff like they had all these really obese women follow me around in the same store where I was stalked by Denton Albertsons. That's where a lot of the gang stalking happened, at this local Albertsons, okay? They had a gang of obese women that were dressed just like me, following me around inside this grocery store, making fun of me. Of course, they're all a bunch of cowards. They all had hats and masks and sunglasses on, so you couldn't tell who they were. And even in the middle of that, I was trying to fucking keep it light. I walked right up to one of them and said, "Oh, you look familiar. Do I know you?" Caught that person way off guard. She said, she didn't know what to say. She said, I don't think so. And I felt like ripping her mask and sunglasses off so I could see who it was. I've been subjected to all kinds of ridicule and terrible treatment, especially at the local art center called Otero Arts. Those people did a terrible op on me. It's just terrible. And that's how I figured out that people in Santa Fe were watching me, because they had an author do a reading down there. Her name is Sally somebody. She came in to do a reading, and it was energy harvesting. Her reading contained a sickening chapter about an Indian killing a baby, and it was sickening. And I realized just moments after I left the reading that they were doing energy harvesting on whoever in the audience would have a response to that, like, ugh, you know, that they harvest energy that way. And that place was they were trying to reel me in. I volunteered and I was helping them, and I did a big project for them for nothing. And I redesigned their newsletter and did a great job doing it. And in the end, they rejected me in a board meeting. They refused to pay me for any of my work. And then they threw away the first edition of the newsletter that I designed for them. After spending $300 to have it printed, they threw it all away and went back to their old newsletter design and pretended like I never did anything for them. And they met with me at a coffee shop and hurriedly gave me some cash and checks to pay me like they promised they would. In the end, I started saying, I need to be paid for some of this, and I didn't even give them a bill. They asked me to submit the hours, and the number of hours I had put in was really big. And I didn't say I was going to charge them for all those hours, but they acted like I was trying to. They acted like I was trying to do some kind of an op on them to trick them into paying me a whole bunch of money. And no such thing ever happened. I was trying to get them to negotiate with me on what a fair price might be for some of the work I had done. And going forward, how they could pay me. And one of them came and said, we think you should be paid for your work. But I didn't get a chance to negotiate before the whole group decided to cut me off with nothing. And I think it was nothing but an exercise in energy harvesting to do a big shock and awe bomb on me that day I came in. Oh, we're not going to pay you anything. Get out, you know. That was when I realized that it's nothing but a witch coven there, a bunch of old witches that are spiritually inverted, that need to harvest energy off kids. That's why they do their free Saturday art workshops, so they can harvest energy off your kid. Ugh, it's really creepy, all right? There's a nest of witches and a coven there that runs that place. All right, that's all. I'm scared to death at what would happen if the blue candidate wins. What are they going to do to me? I don't know. I'm still trapped down in here. Collective, I'm trapped in here.